Mark 12:30. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbors as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. Jesus told us that the second most important commandment is to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Some of us may think the problem isn't learning to love our neighbor, but it's actually learning to love ourselves. All of us have a powerful instinct of self-preservation and self-fulfillment. We want to be happy and satisfied. We strive for it. We fight for it. We want food for ourselves, things for ourselves, a place to live for ourselves. We want our lives to be significant. We want to matter as individuals. All of that is self-love. You could boil it down to a deep longing to diminish pain and increase happiness. This isn't a bad instinct by itself. It causes us to move forward and function each day. It becomes a problem when it's not manifested in a healthy way. The way you can tell if it's turned bad or not is how you respond to Jesus' command of love your neighbor as you love yourself. So just like you feed yourself when you get hungry, will you feed your neighbor when they need it? As you seek to be safe from violence, do you seek security for your neighbor? As you look for friends for yourself, are you being a friend to your neighbor? As you are striving to advance in your career, will you help your neighbor advance in theirs? In other words, make your self-seeking equal to your self-giving. The command, love your neighbor as ourselves, is pretty deep. It can seem overwhelming and impossible. That is why it is important to take this statement in full context. We need the first commandment to be able to fulfill the second commandment. Remember, the first commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. The second commandment is the visible expression of the first commandment. Before you are self-seeking or self-giving of love, you have to first put God in that number one spot of receiving your love. When we truly learn to apply the first commandment to our lives, we will find true satisfaction and love. God says, "Come to me, and I will give you fullness of joy." Our lives are then transformed, and we have this joy that is spilling out of us. This is when we start loving ourselves in a healthy and balanced way. Remember that Jesus gave himself for the world. He gave his life for us even though we didn't deserve it or earn it. Even though we were still sinners, he died for us because he loved us so much. Now Jesus is sharing these commandments with a Jewish audience. The Jews were God's chosen people, and some of them felt like they had the market cornered on God's affection. They felt like they were superior. Jesus was also saying, love even the neighbor that you think is unclean. Love them like they are clean. We may not walk around thinking that we are superior, but there may be some people around us that we would consider unclean. We exclude them from the list of people that we could love as much as we love ourselves. It's hard. This is where the transforming power of Christ works on your hearts. Loving our city in practical ways later this month will be the perfect setting for that work to happen.